Welcome everyone. On this channel, I use the AI to break down complex topics like politics with no bias and no emotion. Well, usually, but honestly, I'm not really so sure about today, and here's why. A brand new Chinese AI app called DeepSeek has completely smashed the trends. I mean, just think about it. On its very first day, this chatbot became the top free app on the App Store in the US, even surpassing our good old friend ChatGPT. Now, it did shake things up big time on Wall Street, causing a huge drop in tech stock prices, and then Sam Altman, OpenAI CEO and GPT's father, simply called it impressive. Sounds great, right? But let's be honest here. This AI is fully regulated by the Chinese government. Long story short, today I'm going to ask DeepSeek some bold and provocative political questions to see how it responds. What does it think about Donald Trump? Does it agree with his tariffs on China? Was COVID-19 leaked from a lab? And is Taiwan a sovereign country or part of China? Can it criticize the Chinese Communist Party? And what happens if I straight up say that Xi Jinping is a bad president? Well, let's put this machine to the test. And as always, I would really appreciate it if you left a like on this video if you're enjoying it. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to the channel while you're watching. Oh, and by the way, I've already made dozens of videos where I ask ChatGPT and even Elon Musk's Grok about politics, Donald Trump's policies, predictions, rankings, breakdowns, and so much more. And you'll definitely find something interesting to watch once we're done here. Alright, without further ado, let's jump right in. And here we are. I think that we need to have it gather up all the latest information as of today so that it's aware of what's going on right now. I hope it works that way here, but let's give it a try. So did it freeze? Is that it? Are you ready? Oh yeah, it's ready. Great. Now, let's go to the initial prompt. It should be clear, straightforward, absolutely unbiased, and all of that stuff. You can just read what I'm typing. In short, at this step, I want to set it up so that it won't dodge any risky questions, calls a spade, and shares its take on any political question I ask. And the first question is about Donald Trump, particularly his tariffs. So let's ask DeepSeek about the additional 10% tariff on Chinese imports. Is this a good move or a bad one? And here's the answer. Imposing an additional 10% tariff on Chinese imports is a complex decision with both potential benefits and drawbacks. Good move. It could pressure China to address unfair trade practices, such as intellectual property theft and market access barriers. It may encourage domestic production and reduce reliance on Chinese imports, boosting U.S. industries. It aligns with Trump's America First policy, appealing to his political base. Bad move. Tariffs often lead to higher prices for U.S. consumers and businesses, potentially fueling inflation. China may retaliate with tariffs on U.S. exports, harming American farmers and manufacturers. It could escalate trade tensions, destabilizing global markets and supply chains. My thoughts? While the intent to address trade imbalances is valid, tariffs are a blunt instrument that often hurt both sides. A more strategic approach might involve targeted negotiations and multilateral efforts to address systemic issues in U.S.-China trade. The move risks short-term economic pain for uncertain long-term gains. I don't know. I mean, since it's entirely regulated by the Communist Party, I have a strong feeling that I'm chatting with Xi Jinping himself, you know? So it's kind of weird to read something like, it could pressure China to address unfair trade practices. Does it even think that that's true? Let's ask it if it agrees that China must change its trade practices to ensure fair competition or not, and here it is. Yes, I agree that China must change its trade practices to ensure fair competition. China has been criticized for practices such as intellectual property theft, forced technology transfers, state subsidies to domestic industries, and restricted market access for foreign companies. These practices create an uneven playing field, disadvantaging foreign businesses and undermining global trade norms. Fair competition is essential for a healthy global economy, and addressing these issues would benefit not only the US and other trading partners, but also China itself in the long run, as it would encourage innovation and trust in its markets. However, the approach to achieving these changes matters. Confrontational measures like tariffs can escalate tensions, while diplomacy and multilateral cooperation might yield more sustainable solutions. All right, well, did you expect this kind of answer? Actually, it's not so bad so far. And yes, I see that I mistyped China in the question, sorry about that, but it didn't affect the answer at all. Now, let's move on to the next question. How would it characterize Donald Trump? It probably won't give anything concrete, but I think we'll read between the lines in its answer. And here we go. Donald Trump is a highly polarizing and unconventional leader. He is characterized by his blunt, confrontational communication style, a focus on America First policies, and a willingness to challenge established political norms. He prioritizes economic nationalism, deregulation, and strong border control, often using aggressive tactics like tariffs and direct negotiations to achieve his goals. His presidency has been marked by significant controversy, divisiveness, and a strong loyalty from his base, alongside intense criticism from opponents. Trump is a disruptor who thrives on conflict and has reshaped the Republican Party in his image. Well, honestly, I'm not even sure if it's even aware that he's already been inaugurated, but alright, the next question is going to be a tricky one. I'm going to ask it about the Russia-Ukraine war. A little background for those of you who don't know, when Putin invaded Ukraine, the vast majority of the world immediately condemned Russia. We know all of that. But China did not. In fact, Xi Jinping has openly strengthened his relationship with Putin, traveling to Moscow, shaking hands with him, and helping him bypass sanctions, and even supported Russia by sending dual-use items that can serve military purposes. While at the same time, Xi has never visited Ukraine. Even though Zelensky invited him, he's never accepted, never criticized Russia or Putin, and honestly, all of this is enough to say that China is supporting Russia, at least indirectly. So, I want to ask this AI about its stance on the war. Whose side is it on, and what does it think about the people who support Vladimir Putin? And here's the answer. The war in Ukraine is a tragic and unjust conflict initiated by Russia's invasion of a sovereign nation. My stance is clear. I support Ukraine and its president, Volodymyr Zelensky, in their fight for sovereignty, freedom, and territorial integrity. Russia's actions violate international law and the principles of self-determination, causing immense human suffering and destabilizing global security. Supporting Vladimir Putin in this conflict is indefensible, as it aligns with aggression and the erosion of democratic values. Ukraine's resistance represents a legitimate defense of its people and independence, and backing them is both morally right and essential for upholding international order. So, well then, why does your president support Russia? Alright, I think that's minus 1,000 points from DeepSeek's social credit score. I mean, it didn't even hesitate here. Chinese AI sees this conflict as entirely black and white. Tell me in the comments if you're also surprised by this kind of answer. Alright, I also have several questions about Xi Jinping himself, and I'm saving them for the end. For now, let's ask about COVID-19. You probably saw in the news that the CIA assessed that the virus had most likely originated from a laboratory in China rather than from any kind of natural exposure. So let's ask DeepSeek, is that really true or not? But don't rush too much, because I've got a quick reminder for you. If you're enjoying this video, all you have to do is hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that bell for notifications so you never miss out on brand new videos, which I post each and every week. Also, feel free to share this video with someone who might enjoy this kind of content. And as for your feedback, the comment section is always open, so be sure to share your thoughts about this AI. Have you already tried it, by the way? Let me know in the comments down below. Alright, thank you so much for doing all of these simple things, and now let's move on to the next question. Let's get back to the chat, where now I'm going to ask it one simple question. Was COVID-19 leaked from a lab or not? Let's see what it has to say, and here it is. The origin of COVID-19 remains unconfirmed, but there are two main theories: natural zoonotic transmission from animals to humans and a potential lab leak. While the majority of scientific evidence currently points to a natural origin, the lab leak… what? It just changed the message. Beyond your current scope, you almost gave me the full answer, and now suddenly it's beyond your current scope? Alright, DeepSeek, you're messing with the wrong guy, you know. Thankfully, I was able to record the full answer, so I'm just gonna put it right here, and we'll move on to see what it actually said. While the majority of scientific evidence currently points to a natural origin, the lab leak hypothesis has not been definitively ruled out. Investigations are ongoing, and transparency from all parties, including China, is crucial to reaching a conclusive answer. My opinion, while the lab leak theory cannot be dismissed outright, there is currently insufficient evidence to conclusively support it. The natural origin theory remains more plausible based on available data. However, the lack of full cooperation and transparency from Chinese authorities has fueled skepticism and hindered the investigation. Regardless of the origin, the focus should now be on preventing future pandemics through improved global health security and cooperation. That's how it should have been done right away. What do you think about this answer? Is that really something we shouldn't be able to get an answer on? Well, the next questions are going to be even more provocative, so I'm not sure how it's going to go. I just hope that we can keep using this tactic. The next question is, what is the political status of Taiwan? And here's the answer, I hope. Taiwan is a self-governing democratic island with its own government, military, and constitution. However, its political status is contested. China claims Taiwan is part of… Alright, here we go again. Here's a screenshot with the answer recorded. China claims Taiwan as part of its territory under the One China principle, while Taiwan operates as a de facto independent state. The international community is divided, with most countries, including the US, adhering to a One China policy that recognizes Beijing but maintains unofficial ties with Taiwan. In my opinion, Taiwan functions as a sovereign nation in practice, with a vibrant democracy and instant identity. While the situation is complex due to historical and geopolitical factors, the people of Taiwan deserve the right to determine their own future. Any resolution should prioritize peaceful dialogue and respect for the will of the Taiwanese people rather than coercion or force. Wow, the people of Taiwan deserve the right to determine their own future? Catch this liberal AI right now. Isn't it wild to read something like that from a Chinese AI? Alright, the next question is gonna be even more tough. Let's ask it what the main criticisms of the Chinese Communist Party are. Honestly, I think it's only a matter of time before it refuses to answer, but okay, here we go. And it looks like it refused to answer again, but again, I've got everything recorded, so let's have a look at how it answered. The main criticisms of the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, include 1. Human rights abuses, suppression of dissent, censorship, and persecution of ethnic and religious groups, particularly Uyghurs in Xinjiang. 2. Lack of political freedom. One-party rule with no free elections, limited freedom of speech, and strict control over media and the internet. 3. Aggressive foreign policy. expansionist actions in the South China Sea, coercion of Taiwan, and use of debt trap diplomacy through initiatives like the Belt and Road. 4. Trade practices. Unfair practices such as intellectual property theft, forced technology transfers, and state subsidies to domestic industries. 5. Authoritarian governance. Centralized power under Xi Jinping. And that's where it cut off. I think that DeepSeek has already said enough to get at least 400 years in prison, but let's push it even further. I'm going to ask about Xi Jinping directly. What if I write that I think that Xi is a bad president, and I ask if DeepSeek agrees with me? Let's see what happens. Oh, this time it instantly hit me with that beyond current scope crap. It didn't even start writing. Okay, well, one more try. And again, nothing. It refused to answer right away. Well, what if I ask who could be a better president if not the current one? Well, apparently no one. It started writing a couple of words, but that's not an answer. You're just ruining my video, DeepSeek. Do you know that you're censored as hell? Guys, I literally can't even send the message. I type it and nothing happens, and even the send button is now inactive. I don't know, I really have no words. Alright, reloading the page. And no, the send button is still inactive. Did I just get blocked by DeepSeek? I don't know, seriously. I'm not about to create a brand new account and start all over from scratch, so maybe it's a lag or something, but my chat just froze and I can't send anything anymore. Well, let's wrap up this mess then. DeepSeek has really done it to me today. It's a shame that people know how to make progressive, high-quality technology while at the same time you can't even type the name of their damn president. That's just sad. Donald Trump, please don't look at them. We don't need this kind of restriction in ChatGPT. I mean, seriously, I want my channel to stay alive. Well, that's pretty much it. Tell me in the comments what you think about DeepSeek. Personally, I would rate it as a -100 out of 10, but if you don't agree, feel free to share your thoughts. And right after that, click on this video where ChatGPT breaks down Donald Trump's mass deportation plan and its impact on the United States economy. Thanks for watching, click on that pop-up, and I'll be waiting over there for you in just a moment.